Steve, we're going to start with one of the biggest names in the country, Nyckoles Harbor, a five-star prospect listed as the #1 athlete in the country. He holds almost 4 dozen offers and just scheduled his first visit of the fall to South Carolina this weekend. So, Steve, what can you tell us about his trip and his upcoming schedule?
Yeah, Nyckoles Harbor and his parents, they'll arrive in Columbia, South Carolina, Friday morning at about 10 a.m. They'll get a chance to reconnect with the coaches, see some game preparation stuff leading into the Georgia game Saturday afternoon, and get a chance to eat with the coaches and continue to build that connection with the players and the recruits. This will be Nyckoles Harbor's third visit to South Carolina. Took a visit over the summer and quickly scheduled this official visit, his first one of the process. And Shane Beamer and that staff have certainly done a good job of exciting him about a potential future with the Gamecocks. Nyckoles Harbor, also an elite track recruit, going to do both on the next level, so that'll be a key component of this visit. His parents are excited to get to a college football game. His dad's never been to one before, so they're pumped to see what that atmosphere is like. They already know the city really embraces the Gamecocks, and that's one of the things that really stands out. The other thing his father told me this week that stands out about South Carolina is just the way that Nyckoles has connected with the players in the locker room and the current recruits in the class. So South Carolina, they're battling Michigan, who will get the next official visit next weekend, and then LSU scheduled for one the weekend of October 7th. You also have USC, Maryland, Miami, and Georgia in the mix for Nyckoles Harbor as well. South Carolina obviously near the top of the list, hoping to keep that momentum going this week.
Now, South Carolina is a massive underdog in this one. Georgia favored by 24 points. I know Harbor is in Gamecocks territory, but how excited or maybe even relieved is this Georgia coaching staff to see him this weekend?
Well, I think when you're a school like Georgia or Alabama, programs like that, you love that you are the big recruiting weekend most times for the other home team, and you get a chance to play in front of a bunch of recruits. And then for a staff like Georgia, they do a terrific job of keeping up with their top targets. And so like a Heaven Brown Schuler, who's a top 247 2024 prospect who's expected there, that Georgia's also offered, a chance for him to I mean, he's certainly going to take in the South Carolina sights and sounds, but there's an opportunity for him to get a good seat to watch Georgia, another program that he's strongly considering. And so if you're Georgia, you like that there's going to be a big recruiting section at these away games, and you look forward to more times than not connecting with those guys after a W and saying, hey, did you like the way we played? Did you see such and such who's going to play in the same role that we envision you as? Certainly Georgia and their staff embracing this opportunity. And then again, for Nyckoles Harbor, we list him as an athlete recruit, but I just wanted to add, Grace, you want to recruit him as an offensive player right now, a receiver / tight end hybrid. Again, he's one of the top track and field runners in the country. He's got Olympic aspirations. And I think the offensive side of the ball, combining that with track, not gaining weight, maybe a less physical side of the football are things that are more exciting as far as his recruitment goes and what position he'll play in college. And South Carolina's embraced that. Michigan certainly has, with Grant Newsome and their whole offensive staff. Coach Bellamy recruiting him for a long time, and same goes for LSU with Brian Kelly's track record of tight ends and mismatches. Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator. All those programs have a lot to sell in that fashion.
Okay, so maybe it's more about the opportunities he could have at South Carolina. That being said, though, asking from the Gamecocks' perspective, I'm not sure how much of a chance they would have at landing such a highly touted prospect like Nyckoles Harbor. But when other recruits see a guy like this out at the game, does that help South Carolina maybe influence some prospects who may be on the fence about the Gamecocks program?
Well, Coach Beamer and his staff are working on a historical class by 24/7 Sports. History says, they've never finished number 15, or they've never finished higher than number 15 in our rankings going back to 2010. That's where they sit right now. So this is a really strong class for South Carolina, particularly around the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. A lot of those guys are expected back, and Nyckoles Harbor's really connected with those guys. He feels comfortable with them, and I think that's one of the reasons why South Carolina is in great shape. I wouldn't rule South Carolina out for him coming into this visit. We'll see how this official goes. and how South Carolina stacks up with his next two officials, what they're able to offer as far as his trajectory in track and field, what they're able to offer as far as his trajectory as a football player. And this is also a 3.9 student with aspirations to be a physician as well. You know, his dad works for NASA. Education is very important for Nyckoles Harbor and his family as well. South Carolina, they've been dotting the right I's and crossing the right T's at this point in the recruitment. And now we're up to the official visit portion of it, and they get the first visit, and then we'll see what happens from there.